The stretching? Did you like the stretching?
No, I hate it when he fell face first into her vagina.
Okay, well, yeah. That was...
Remember, my reaction was like, hell no! Oh no!
We took a couple weeks off. What were you doing in those 2 weeks?
I was working out. What were you doing?
Being sad.
Why you gonna tell everybody you were sad?
We mentioned it before. I mean, I've been unemployed now for about 2 months. It gets kind of depressing at times, and I just don't feel like creative. Like I don't want to talk about wrestling and talk about housewives. The housewives are pretty depressing.
No, that shit's good right now. It's
That's
on
good.
fire.
We'll get to that because we've got people in the comments are like, we need more Toni's Real Housewives opinions, and you were like, see, right? Yeah.
Got one request.
She doesn't need help inflating her ego. And there's the thumbnail face.
Mr. All Ego over here.
I'm not Ethan Page. I'm not the NXT champion.
Or Joe Hendry.
Oh, we'll get to that. Welcome back to the You're Mean to Me podcast. We are on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all our links, our social media links. You can follow Antonia here, the link tree. That's where it's at. We really appreciate everybody subscribing and listening. Sorry we took 2 weeks off. If you can hear our air conditioning, it's because it's 90 plus degrees here in New Jersey. It's hot across the country, but I don't think you can hear the air conditioning too much. We've had it on before, but I ain't turning it off. It's not like we've got central air. It's one of those like you don't hear it, right?
I hear it.
You hear it because you're in the room.
It's all I can hear.
All right. It's not an air conditioning noise podcast. We scrapped that idea. So you mentioned Joe Hendry. Before we get to that, I think it's funny because I feel like, I feel like 2 weeks ago everybody was like, well, AEW's dead. And then Forbidden Door happened, and now the build for All In's happening. Everybody's like, AEW's back. And WWE's been on a consistent run. You actually, it's been a couple weeks. You gave Forbidden Door a chance.
I did. I sat through, and I didn't pick up my phone.
That was the hardest part.
But I will tell you right now, I can't remember what I watched. I can't remember any of the matches I watched. I don't remember the matchups that I sat through.
It's been 2 weeks. I have a heart. There's so much wrestling you watch. You watch all the shows and everything. But you sat through the first, I'd say, 4 or 5 matches.
Yeah, but I can't. If you ask me right now who were in those matches, I can't tell you.
If you ask me off the top of my head right now, I can't tell you. I'd have to look it up to jog my memory. That's not what it's about. But so you gave it a shot, but still nothing. I mean, you've kind of watched sporadically since then, like Dynamites and stuff, but nothing still really hooked you.
Listen, I can think back to WrestleMania and tell you who I watched at WrestleMania. I can't tell you what I watched. It is a big deal that for 2 weeks ago I couldn't tell you what matches stuck with me. Nothing left an impact. So it is a big deal.
Speaking of impact,
but I forgot your question. Go ahead. What was it?
I didn't have a question.
What was it? But then what'd you say?
I said, you mentioned Joe Hendry, and it's just funny because you've watched AEW, you don't like it, but now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you say his name.
And he appears.
And you're in love with this guy. You told your family in a group chat that hey, everybody, you'd announced it to people that you're this big Joe Hendry fan. But here's the thing. What won't you do?
Watch Impact?
You won't watch TNA, the man's home promotion where he's become this phenomenon with this song and this nonsense. But he shows up in NXT and you're like, hey.
Because you've put it on before. It's on Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
And I said to you, this is some low production nonsense. It was very it looks like WrestlePro on Fight TV. It wasn't I'm not watching public assets wrestling. This is not what we're doing here. I'm not a low budget lady.
At one time, it was the number 2 promotion in the world.
Then invest in it with the look.
Well, that's the thing. You watched it a few months ago when they were a little more low budget. They have put more money into it. If you've seen the production on the latest episodes and the crowds and everything, it looks better. It looks a lot better. Yes, it kind of had a lower budget and look before. It kind of harkened back to kind of Ring of Honor-ish, but we won't get into that. The bottom line is, this man has hooked you. What is it about Joe Hendry that has you so enthralled?
He's happy. He looks like a happy dude. That song is catchy as hell. It's there's not enough positivity in the world.
What's his finishing move? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm not okay. I'm supposed to know everybody's finishing moves now?
But say you've never seen him wrestle. The extent of you seeing him wrestle was when he got thrown out in 3 seconds from the NXT Battle Royal, correct?
I'm not saying I love listen. I don't base on who wrestles the best. It's on who captivates me. I am captivated.
He turns to the camera and tells people to say his name like he's friggin' Beetlejuice. Like, say it 3 times and I'll appear.
It gives very, like, cult leader-ish. It gives very, like, like, it's almost like it's so positive you feel like there's something sinister about it. Have you, like, you know that feeling? Like, you know, like, you're just like, something's going to go, and I'm like, there's something evil about you, even though you're so positive and happy.
He's going to make you drink the Kool-Aid at some point.
Basically, yeah. That's what I'm getting. And it's you know, it's true crime-ish, right? Like, you thought they were, like, the nice family next door, but then there's something evil underneath the whatever.
Like, believe in Joe Hendry, and then maybe stab your husband and empty your bank accounts and send me some money.
Yeah, like, there's some other, like, you know, it's not, like, out there, like, bad, but, like, for some reason, like, it's like you, like, something about it, right? Like, and, like, I like...
Something about it that I don't care about.
Why don't you care? I don't care if you don't care about it.
Do you find him attractive? That's the other thing. Do you think he's an attractive man? I mean, he's got a beard.
Nah, he doofy.
Okay, so it's really just it's something about his personality that kind of just grabs you.
Do I find him attractive? No.
I don't know. Just wonder if that plays into it because you haven't seen him wrestle.
He's also blonde.
You don't. Well, it's a dye job. You don't find him attractive. You like the song. Here's the thing, and I said this on Twitter. Nobody really reacted to it because I don't think people remember it, but they should because it's front and center right now. He's doing Bo Dallas's "I Believe" gimmick.
Oh, I like that one too. I loved I Believe. I Believe.
So you just like positivity, like positive. John Cena's been running around for 20 years telling people to, you know, never give up and stay positive and make a wish and all this other crap.
I don't hate John Cena.
But I didn't say you had to hate John Cena. I'm just saying like this like overly positive gimmick. Like Bo Dallas didn't try to like create a cult. He just ran around with his sign like, well, I believe. And everybody was like, yay, for about 6 months. And they were like, meh. And it fizzled out. But this guy's doing the same thing, but he put a song to it, and I feel like he's a more generally attractive person than Bo Dallas.
He is more attractive than Bo Dallas. Would I say I'm attracted to him? No, but...
And I'm not talking about dark, brooding, I'm trying to be my brother right now, Bo Dallas. I'm talking about old Bo Dallas with no facial hair and long, like...
No, even back then...
Wet hair.
No.
Like, yeah, so I mean, I think it's a combination of things. Now look... TNA's pushing him. He's going to be in this elimination 6-man elimination match for the title at Slammiversary for their title.
Great name.
What? Slammiversary? It is. It's one of my favorites. But they teased him at the end of Heatwave.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Tuesday late afternoon. He might show up on NXT tonight. The rumor mill's churning that he's going to be a part of this crossover that's kind of not really fizzled, but kind of hasn't gone anywhere. You know, we had Jordan Grace. Now Charlie Dempsey's in NXT, Tatum Paxley. There's been, but it's just like I feel like it should have been a bigger part of Heatwave, and it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's big. Like it just feels like it kind of like everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome," and it's kind of like cooled off.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way? Because it hasn't been any reeling, right? But you're excited. Here, what do you want to see Joe Hendry do in NXT?
I don't know. I just want to see what happens next.
Okay, you don't.
I want to see where he takes this. Like I'm always like this has always been my answer for anything. I'm just along for the ride. Like
you don't have any expectations.
Like you're the one who always like this is what they need to do. This is what they need to do creatively. This is how they need to book them. And I was like, I'm just here to see what happens. I'm just here to enjoy the product. Okay, this isn't like
you have opinions though. Like you don't like Will Ospreay.
Okay, but here's the thing: I don't know what's going to work or what's not going to work. I don't have that foresight you have. What I know is what I won't like. So if they do X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, oh, I didn't like that. That was a bad call. Or if they do A, B, C, I'll be like, that was a good idea. That worked for me. That's how I react afterwards. You seem to have to be like, it was not going to work if they do this. They really have to go this way. And I was like, I don't know. It could go either way.
Yeah, because I've been watching for 35 years. And
I've been watching for 2.5 really consistently. Like, let me just have fun with it. It's fun. It's different. It's also like you compare it to Bo-lieve, but I haven't seen anything like that where it's like just some cheery guy. Like John Cena can be positive, but he wasn't some cheery guy.
What's so appealing about a cheery guy? That's the thing. Like I don't understand the appeal of the character.
All that, like, you know, even when they're good guys or like faces, they're always like the anti-hero with an edge, right? Like Cody Rhodes isn't Mr. Like.
What edge does Cody have?
He's got edge. It's called the American Nightmare.
But
and he dresses like Homelander.
But what edge does he? I mean,
you don't think he has an edge? You don't think he's not like Mr. like Americano, Mr. Boy Next Door? He's not.
I don't think he
pure of heart.
You're talking about like an anti-hero. I don't think he has like a Stone Cold Steve Austin type of edge to him. I don't think he.
I don't think it's that, but I don't think it's like he's not getting on the Nimbus and flying around. Like he would fall through the Nimbus.
You're comparing him to Goku?
I'm just saying.
What the hell? All right, we get off track here about who has an edge and who has an Adam Copeland. But you kind of like that cheerful, happy baby face thing. I think it's the song too. I don't know, like the song.
Listen, that shit's fucking like
it number one.
You just hear me randomly singing down the couch. Just like the song.
But speaking about Dallas, this is one of the last things we talked about 2 weeks ago. The Wyatts after the fake murder for their debut. How do you feel about the Wyatts? 3 weeks now. We had 3 episodes of Raw since their debut. How do you feel about it?
I don't know.
What?
I'm not impressed.
There you go.
I'm not impressed. I don't want to see this bitch come out with a VHS every week.
3 weeks in a row.
And
3 weeks in a row. The same thing.
Listen, my brother said it. A lot of people on the Twitter said it, that they're like, oh, Bo Dallas is giving like, Oscar caliber promos or whatever. Like, give him
he's not.
Like, it's just great touching stuff. I don't like that. It's like the opposite of Joe Hendry. Like, this is sad. And I don't want to be sad.
It got real sad real quick.
Like, I don't want to be sad. Like, this was supposed to be, like, creepy and, like, that. If you kept going with that and then, like, whatever. But, like, you're trying to lay down too much of a story. And I feel like it's not, like, just let it, like, I want to see you in the ring, too. All right? I gave Mercedes Moné the same guff when she came on to AEW about, like, get in the fucking ring. Because at the end of the day, this is a wrestling business, okay? I don't gave her shit for just standing there and doing this. Okay, every time she came out. I don't need to see a VHS. If you see another VHS next week, you drop the ball with this one. You drop the ball with this one.
The ball's already been dropped and kicked as far as I can
at least Bo Dallas showed up in Adam Pearce's office this week. Adam Pearce?
Yes, Adam Pearce. You've been watching for 2 years. You should know Adam Pearce. Yeah, I think I don't understand how you do months, and I'm talking months of these QR codes that were just pointless. To then, this is the setup of the thing. The way Nikki Cross has come out 3 weeks in a row with the smoke and interrupting and gives the tape and they play tape, that should have been before their murder debut where they took out the production truck. Nobody said anything about that. They totally washed over that. The only person that we know was hurt and then recovered and they almost took him out of the match, they did was Chad Gable. They should have taken him out of the match. Like, they just totally cut the legs out from this whole group immediately. And it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to be very hard to salvage it going forward. Because everybody was raving and riding about, like, oh, this is a great debut, the production, blah, blah. I said, this isn't going to work because they got nowhere to go from here. Boom, they got nowhere to go from here. 3 weeks in, and he shows up in the office. Like, we get it. He's both people, just like Bray was the Fiend. Again, it's all been done. It's a rehash. It's a remake. It's a poor man's copy of what Bray did, and it's going to end horribly. It's already flatlined, in my opinion. And you can't. It's not popping or raining. Merchandise isn't flying off shelves. It's not like everybody's not looking for what's going to happen next week because the same thing keeps happening.
I almost wish they don't show up next week. Like, I'm like, please don't interrupt this Raw.
Either put your hands on Chad Gable. Either say what the problems with Chad Gable. Something.
That's the other thing. It's unclear. I think you mentioned something about family, but I still think it's unclear why they got beef with him. Like,
well, there you go. If you don't know, and they spent 3 or 4 weeks now, and they haven't.
Quite frankly, when the VHSs come on, I just walk away, or like I don't pay attention. That's when I'm on my phone playing my Monopoly Go.
Yeah, it's just him talking to himself. And this week they showed the faces, but everybody already knows who they are. And as a thing, it doesn't care. It wasn't like a big oh shit reveal. It's Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Nikki Cross. I don't even think they even showed Nikki's face, but the other 3, it's like, who gives a shit? Honestly, who gives a shit? They're nobodies. I'm sorry. This has failed out of the gate. It continues to fail.
It's almost like a joke. They took out the whole production team last time when they first came out, but every time they show up and they go near Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, they almost make jokes. Like, I ain't touching that thing. It comes off corny now.
Yeah.
It comes off really
just
corny.
Like I said it would.
Like, at this point, because, like, you're not doing anything. You're just, like, she looks like the person from The Ring that comes out, like, the hole or whatever. Like,
they're not setting up any matches. Look, SummerSlam's 3 weeks away. I can't believe how quick SummerSlam's coming up. And I'm going to assume they're not doing 5 matches for SummerSlam because you've already got the 2 World Championships set up, the 2 Women's Championships set up. We'll talk about one of those in a minute. You've got, obviously, some sort of Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, maybe Dragunov thrown in their rematch. You've got Punk and McIntyre. So right out of the gate, that's like 7-8 matches. So we can't do 5. And SummerSlam doesn't split into 2 nights for another year or 2. So it's like, what are they doing for SummerSlam? You debuted this angle, you've run it, they're not doing anything. Chad Gable's still talking to the Creeds. We're still teasing that. We pulled the fucking trigger on that, for God's sakes. Like, Otis and them weren't even on the show this week. So if we're doing Bo versus Gable at Summers, like, just it. Look, I love Triple H. Everybody loves to rave about how great the product is. He's going to drop the ball once in a while. You can't juggle that roster 3 hours a week, then SmackDown another 2, like, without making some mistakes, having some hiccups.
Listen, if at some point this finally leads somewhere and the payoff is worth it, I'll eat my hat. But
I won't.
I don't.
Because I'm right.
You talking about my ego?
I'm drawing a line in the sand on this one because I told everybody this was going to be a bad idea. Other people have said it too. A lot of other people, wrestlers and pundits and podcasters have said that this is a bad idea, and I think it's
wrestling pundits.
Pundits, yeah. I almost wonder if it would have been better if Bo just did this by himself instead of dragging this group in. Like, granted, those other people weren't doing anything; they weren't going anywhere. But I almost wonder if he should have just done it by himself, if it would have been better. Just Uncle Howdy coming back and this Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas thing. That might have actually worked. But I think the group, and then, look, we killed everybody. Just kidding. We made some sad tapes. Like,
yeah, they never brought that up again. Like, they just brought up Chad Gable, and it's
bring it up.
Like, you don't go into, like, Gorilla, and then you see people with, like, bandages or something. Like,
just like the referee didn't count to 3 on Sunday.
Oh, please.
Whoop! Don't mention it. Anyway, but the big story from last night, and I want to do a little like AEW corner where I'm just going to kind of go about what I like about AEW because you don't care or watch. But the other thing, the biggest story, the thing that's made you cringe, I've loved it. Last night was the perfect
I loved it last
ending.
night. I mean, it made me cringe last night, but I loved the ending.
The stretching? Did you like the stretching?
No, I hated when he felt like he fell face first into her vagina.
Okay, well, yeah.
Remember, my reaction was like, hell no! Oh no!
Fightful. Actually, I think they tweeted like Dominic goes down on Liv Morgan and defeats Rey Mysterio for the first time. I'm like, yeah, the first victory over Rey was just like, no one cares. He went face first into her crotch after the stretch backstage. And I said, once Damian Priest took the phone call, I'm like, Rhea's back. Tonight's the night. This match is the main event. This is it. And then she came out. But then again, it kind of fell flat. AUSA cut the show off, I feel like, before they got to do anything. But then the video online, they just walked to the back and she didn't want anything to do with them. Like, the return is the moment, but she should have slapped the shit out of him. No?
No.
I think
it was perfect. Like, you ain't worth my time, and she walks away. That's how a real woman handles her shit.
This is professional wrestling. There's a level of violence involved. There's contact.
Well, you're going to see them interact next week, and you'll see what happens.
I think her not getting her hands on Liv is the right call. I think they should.
I think that was good. People were like, why did she run away? Makes her look her weak. And I was like,
she's chicken shit heel.
Also, I feel like that was the whole thing. I feel like her whole plan was to get Rhea to get mad at him. Like, leave him alone to deal with Rhea. I'm not dealing with it. Like, this is your problem. This is your woman.
100%. 100% it was just a screw up
and
their
frankly,
relationship.
She shouldn't be mad at Liv. Listen, the man who's got to stay faithful to you is in the ring, and you got to deal with him. Let the bitch be a hoe.
Remember, kids, let the bitch be a hoe.
Listen, if I come home and you over here two-timing me with some lady, I'd be like, you get your shoes on and go, and I got to handle my man. That's how I do it.
But we're in a mixed tag match together against my dad and his friend.
All the story in the book.
But they shouldn't get their hands on each other till SummerSlam. Like, that's what everybody's gonna wait for. They should keep living her apart because that's gonna be just like explosive. But I think she should have slapped Dominic or something.
Nah, if she goes on, like, let's say next week she's like, I'm not, like, she still ignores him. She doesn't discuss it. He's like trying to get her to like that. I would love that story. Well, I mean, maybe if it's a female.
No, they gotta open it. They have to open the show next week with Rhea cutting a promo. Rhea opens Raw next week, or they really don't know what they're doing. She's got to open the show. That the cliffhanger was the thing. Now, like, no.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll give them one caveat. Her or Drew. That's it. Those are the two big like storyline things right now that are just kind of like not a hunt. Like there's so much tension outside of the ring and so much build that they could get away with doing Drew first, then Rhea later on.
Okay.
But yeah. Thanks. Call Triple H. Let him know. Yeah. I mean, so we got the Drew and Punk thing, the Liv and Rhea and Dom triangle of love. And people are always saying, oh, AEW doesn't do stories. AEW has a bunch of stories going on right now.
Okay.
Don't roll your eyes. I saw you roll your eyes. You're on camera. Like
I didn't roll them. I was just like, oh, okay. I'm trying to think about like what stories you could possibly think.
Well, Toni and Mariah May Toni Storm Mariah May is been going on since last year.
After that 3-way kiss, I'm done. And then they walk out like she's holding their butt. Like, this is stupid.
That was the best possible ending. Instead of her having to choose and pick a side, just
they
Toni
didn't have
beat
the triple
her.
kiss. They didn't do that. That I do for the male gaze, and it's disgusting.
All right, so the triple kiss bothers you, but Dominic going face first and Liv's crotch doesn't.
It did. I just told you that was disgusting.
Okay.
I'm also not like no, none of those. Neither. I'm equally not a fan of either of those two things. I like the storyline, and like I said to you, I wouldn't mind the storyline.
But no, you just said you checked out after the triple kiss, but you didn't check out after the face plant.
Because it's because I like that story better.
But it didn't go any further. You like the story, but see, you just biased. You're just biased.
What do I care about them being friends? Like that's.
Because the whole thing has been building to Toni and Mariah having to face each other for the championship if Mariah wins the Owen tournament at All In, and that's where it's going. Like it's these two women who have had this mentor-mentee relationship. Now clearly there's a romantic side to it or some sort of hookup side to it, but now they get to face each other and what's going to happen. Like it's been a great story about this relationship between these two women. And on the other side of things, the world title things, Hangman's back, and my man is angry.
You know what you didn't mention?
What?
Toni Storm's new legal name is Toni Robinson.
It's not really new. She's been married to Juice for a while. But yes, you have the same name as the same government name as Toni Storm. You're both Toni Robinson. And if you ever end up on Raw, Michael Cole might call you by a government name like he did to CM Punk. What are you doing, Phil?
I've heard them call them Phil before. Like, that's definitely not.
But
he calls
no
himself Phil.
There's no reason for it. Have you?
I don't know. CM Punk is one of the few I knew their names because he calls himself Phil.
Yeah. Anyway, here comes one of our cats. Anyway, the other side is that Hangman. You've seen a couple of the promos. Do you have any opinion on Hangman's promos?
I haven't seen any of the promos.
You haven't seen them?
They may have been on TV while I was in the room, but I didn't watch them. I can't tell you what Adam Page.
But you like
what's
Swerve.
his name? Adam Hangman Page?
Hangman Adam Page.
Adam Page.
But you like Swerve.
There's too many Adams over there, too.
There's too many Adams. There's too many Brons and WWEs and Bronsons and Brons.
I can't remember which one, too. Yeah, that was it. It was like, oh, who was their tag match with the... And it was like, oh, Braun. It's like, oh, Braun Breaker? He was just wrestling. It's like, no.
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman. It's like, Brunson. He's like, no.
No, Bronson Reed took on... what's his face?
There's too many Brons.
Pete Dunne.
But no, because there's Adam Copeland, Adam Page, and there's another Adam.
I'm sure there is. I can't.
Adam Weaver?
Adam what?
Weaver?
No.
Is that a name?
No, there's Adam Cole, Adam Page, Brian Cage, Christian Cage.
But then there's Adam Copeland.
And Adam Copeland, yeah.
So there was another Adam.
Yeah, I forgot. He's off TV. I forgot because he broke his leg.
And then there's Adam Pierce.
That's in WWE, though. There's a lot of Adams. A lot of Adams. That's why they call it Hangman Page. They kind of lean towards calling him that more. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what he looks like.
It's the best storyline they've done in a long time. What are you... Look, you can't sit here and praise all these other storylines.
You just use superlatives, and like it means nothing at this point. It's like every time a wrestler comes out, this is my favorite wrestler of all time. It can't be every single wrestler. It can't be every single storyline. It's the best storyline.
It's the best storyline on the men's side of things to me because Page and Swerve built each other up last year. Like Adam Page made Swerve into a main eventer last year. He made him. Mm-hmm. And Swerve went on to win the title. Mm-hmm. Adam couldn't prevent him from winning it like he said he would.
Correct.
And now he's back and he's like, I'm going to burn it. He hasn't even said Swerve's name yet. He's so mad. And he's like, I'm going to burn your whole world to the ground. He was covered in dried blood, cutting a promo after the match on Collision. He's got Danielson this week, which I'm assuming he's going to win. People are like, if Danielson wins that match, they think Danielson and Swerve is a better build. I mean, they've got a year's worth of footage from this feud to build an amazing video package. The promos are going to be amazing. Because, yeah, I mean, it's a very rare case of a heel becoming babyface and a babyface going heel, like in the middle of the feud. Like, the fans did kind of turn. Hangman was like one of the number one babyface in the company, former world champion. And Swerve was like going to his house and saying he was going to take his spot and stuff. And the people got behind Swerve. You got behind Swerve. The dancing and everything.
I'm just Nana.
You're just a Nana fan.
Also, I love no hate to AEW fans, but I guess hate to AEW fans.
I'm sitting right here.
Or just wrestling fans in general, who are in the crowd and try to do the dance. They're never on point. They're never on the beat.
A lot of rhythmless AEW fans.
I mean, at least keep it simple then, because like when Uso comes out and they got to do the yeet hands, at least everybody can stay in rhythm with the yeet, right? But this Nana dance,
you got to pick up your leg at the same time. I think the leg movement is what throws everybody off. So then they're just like,
and then they're not smooth with it because you got to go like this with the arm, but they go this like a windshield wiper, and it's like that's not the move.
We can't all be as smooth as Nana. But anyway,
it's just funny.
It's a very rare case of that happening kind of mid-feud and how Swerve has come out of it as... But Swerve has got you talk about having an edge. Swerve isn't like 100% true babyface. Like he's kind of stone coldish. Like,
I don't hate Swerve. He's good, yeah. He's got like a...
Yeah. But Hangman now is full heel. I mean, Hangman shit on the fans, that's immediate heel move, like, and everything. But I still love him because I feel like his character has gone through such an evolution in the 5 years of AEW to see where he is now, when at one point he was considered like the top baby face and form a tag team with Kenny Omega and everything and being a part of the Elite. And in fact, he kind of like sort of turned on the Elite. He's still heel, but he's not heel with the Elite anymore with the Bucks. It's just, there's so many layers to Hangman's character. And that's why I say people do like, oh, there's no stories. There's just different stories. They're all in the same vein of wrestling. They're all the same world.
I just don't think they're as
wrestling.
captivating. I just don't. I think it's just like an angry feud isn't enough for me to be like, let me.
But you didn't see it. See, that's the problem. Like I respect that opinion, but you didn't watch the feud evolve for it to hook you.
I watched it leading up to the last time when they were beefing. Like, remember I said, "Oh, he was at that guy's house."
Yeah.
And I said, "That's scary."
That was back in like
that's a weird angle to take. I was like, I wouldn't want someone in my house.
There's been home breaking angles before. Well, I mean, they just did it with LA Knight and Logan Paul. That's the thing that kind of ripped it off. I mean, it's been done before, so it's not really ripping it off, but they did the thing where LA Knight was like in his pool, and he's like, oh, I broke into your house and in your pool. I mean, granted, that's not on the same level of Swerve being hanging over Hangman's child's crib, and now Hangman's saying
And
now,
to be fair, I never really followed the LA Knight, that one either, because I was like, I don't want to just see angry people being angry. That's weird.
Well, they're fighting over the title.
Yeah.
It was EK Knight. I don't want to say. LA Knight was, he wants the U.S. title.
But I like them as wrestlers, so I watched it. But I wasn't really
right. And they're gonna
invested
probably fight
in that storyline.
They're probably going to fight at SummerSlam. What else was I? Oh, and now the other big feud or the story that's just started.
Yeah.
Is MJF and Will Ospreay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. MJF finally, which I had been saying, finally did what he said he was going to do and go back to being full heel, as opposed to this like jokey, like, you know, oh, you guys, I'm your scumbag. Like, that had to stop. It didn't work for him last year. I didn't like it when he was doing it. Is he not going to wear the Burberry scarf anymore? He did wear it, but it was like a darker color. It was the same pattern. I don't know if Burberry has different colors. I'm not a big Burberry guy, but like
Burberry.
But it was dark. Somebody pointed it out. Like he had that like dark purple suit on Collision, and the scarf was darker. Like he's going back to be more of a heel. You know that doesn't give a shit. He beat the crap out of Daniel Garcia, which was a nice little like.
I hate Daniel Garcia.
Well, you just hate the dance, but.
Well, there's too much dancing.
Well, he's done with that. I think this was also a way to kind of kill off the goofy dancing character, because Matt Menard cut a promo also and said, you know, when he comes back from his injury, kayfabe, he's going to be Red Death again, which was his name on the indies. So I think they're going to kind of, you know, AEW's been good at kind of realizing, like, we got to push this guy away from this element of their gimmick or their personality and get them back to kind of what made them work. Huh?
Oh.
They've been good at like with MJF. They're like, you know what? Back to being a full heel. Daniel Garcia, maybe back to being a killer indie wrestler, like whatever the Red Death is going to be in AEW. But you don't care. But these are good stories leading into All In, which you'll sit there and watch half of, and then there'll be 25 matches.
That's
I'm sure.
The other thing, like you can't like, and like I stay up till midnight. Like, listen, what was the one we watched this weekend? Money in the Bank was over at like 11.
Well, I started at 7. It was only 5 matches. Yeah.
It was great. That was great. I love it. And lots of breaks in between. People are like, oh, there's so much commercials. I'm like, I love being able to get up and walk away from this.
Yeah, but you know,
I don't like the back to back 12 matches, because like if I do want to watch every match, there's no like, oh, potty break. Ooh, let me go get something to eat. Ooh, let me check my phone.
But then with only 5 matches, like here's the thing: at Money in the Bank, neither women's championship was defended on the show.
Okay.
And then 3 weeks I got SummerSlam, so it's like the two shows I feel like are too close together. First of all, but like you're gonna start seeing people not on the shows. SummerSlam is like 3 weeks, August 5th, I believe. but like neither women's title is on the show. Like I don't care if it's one or the other. I feel like they were kind of bouncing back and forth, but because they had the Cody Six-man and then the Intercontinental title, and there's no U.S. title defend on the show, the women's tag titles weren't defended on the show. So now you're gonna start a thing where like champions aren't on pay-per-views, and you know it feels like they have enough to have an 8-match show, which I feel like used to be kind of the standard for WWE.
Yeah, but you get a lot more lulls with 8 matches. Like
I don't
feel
think
like
so.
5 matches is great.
I feel like the entrances were snappier. They let them kind of really like play the crowd in the entrances and really like the high fives and signing and get in the ring and yay and do all that stuff.
I thought it was great. I love short and sweet. I love lots of spacing in between. I don't need to sit through 12 straight matches. Or I mean, I guess 8's fine, but I want like it's still going to take a while because like you need to see the lead ups. Like they do the whole things, the intros,
the video packages.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like the pacing of the shows right now. Maybe I'm the only one, but I like the pacing. Maybe 6 matches. I don't know. There's a sweet spot somewhere.
It's tough because it's like WWE, they're saying it's too few. AEW is too many. Look, I agree AEW is too many. I think 15 matches was Forbidden Door. That's insane. I get it. They have 2 other companies they're trying to get people in on and kind of get it. I think the perfect thing for AEW, the way they do things, I think 10 total, including pre-show. If you're going to have 3 matches on the 0 hour, then have 7 on the main card. I think 10 is perfect for AEW. I think 8 is perfect for WWE. Maybe do 6 and then the 7th is a countdown show. I don't know. I just feel, because now NXT's doing it too. Heatwave was only 5 matches and 1 on the pre-show. I was like, okay, so that's the standard. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me long term. I guess I just want more. But I feel like maybe because you're not paying an exorbitant amount of money for like WWE shows because it's just like included in Peacock, they don't feel the need to like overload the card to like give you your money's worth because you're already subscribed and you're like getting it for, almost nothing. I don't know. Oh, all right. So we're going to do talk a little about Real Housewives. I'm going to put that as like a YouTube only clip. So I'm going to kind of like wrap up the show here and then we'll talk about Real Housewives. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, real quick.
All right. Why, you got to go?
At 6.
Oh, you got to go. Tony's got to go to the gym.
Get swole.
Get muscle. Tony Hurricane. So thank you all for watching and listening to the Your Me to Me podcast. Do we do our names at the beginning or just...
People should know us, but I know I mentioned I'm Tony Robinson.
But you mentioned that during the show just because you're real proud of it. Anyway... Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Leave a comment. Let us know anything we talked about. What do you like for your pay-per-view lengths? That's a weird thing to say. Linktree right here at the bottom. Make sure to click that and find us wherever. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And hopefully we'll see you next week. I don't think we're going to take 2 weeks off this time. I don't know, maybe.
Say his name and he appears.
He's like Beetlejuice. Joe Hendry. Bye, Tony. Say goodbye, Tony.
Bye, Tony.